Zachary Phillip Wylde was born Jeffrey Phillip Wielandt in Bayonne, New Jersey on January 1967. He is of Irish descent. He started playing guitar at the age of 8, but did not become serious about it until his early teenage years. At the age of 14, he worked at Silverton Music in Silverton, New Jersey. He grew up in Jackson, New Jersey, where he attended Jackson Memorial High School and graduating in 1985. He has stated that he often played the guitar almost non-stop between coming home from school and leaving for school the next morning, then would be completely exhausted during school the next day. In 1987, Wylde auditioned for Ozzy Osbourne after listening to The Howard Stern Show and learning that Osbourne was looking for a new lead guitarist. Wylde was hired to replace Jake E. Lee, who was fired by Ozzy Osbourne manager Sharon Osbourne. He subsequently toured with Osbourne and played on No Rest for the Wicked in 1988, No More Tears in 1991, and Ozzmosis in 1995 as a co-writer. Wylde was replaced by little-known guitarist Joe Holmes in 1995 until Wylde's return in 2001. Although not credited for songwriting, Wylde recorded Down to Earth and appeared on the supporting tour. After auditioning different guitarists in 2004 and 2005, Ozzy Osbourne announced Zakk Wylde as the official guitarist for his album Black Rain, which was released in 2007 and also accompanied by a tour. Wylde rejoined Ozzy Osbourne's band once again for a select number of dates during Osbourne's 2017 summer tour, and then performed on the No More Tours 2 tour before the remaining shows were postponed and eventually cancelled. On September 2022, he again joined Osbourne on stage at the SoFi Stadium, along with Andrew Watt to perform Crazy Train and the title track for Osbourne's upcoming album Patient No. 9 at the NFL's season opening during halftime. The following day, Patient No. 9 was released featuring Wylde playing guitar on 4 tracks. Formed in 1991 during what was then billed as Ozzy Osbourne's farewell tour following the 1991 No More Tears album, Wylde recruited the former White Lion rhythm section of bassist James Lomenzo and drummer Greg D'Angelo, and originally wanted to name the southern rock-inspired project Lynyrd Skynyrd. This lineup recorded 2 songs, an instrumental entitled Farm Fiddlin' for a 1991 compilation album entitled The Guitars That Rule the World, and a cover of the blues standard Baby Please Don't Go for the 1992 LA Blues Authority Volume 1 compilation. By early 1994, the band had changed their name to Pride and Glory, with D'Angelo departing and being replaced by Brian Tichy. That year, Pride and Glory released their only album via Geffen Records, and performed as a main stage act at the Donington Monsters of Rock Festival in England in June of that year. In November 1994, Lomenzo left after a tour of Japan, 3 days before Pride and Glory were scheduled to begin a U.S. tour. Scrambling, Wylde quickly managed to find a replacement in his longtime friend John DeServio, who grew up with Wylde in New Jersey. Pride and Glory played their final show on December 1994 in Los Angeles. On January 1998, the lineup of Wylde, Lomenzo, and Tichy reunited for a one-off reunion show at the Whiskey A Go Go in Hollywood. In 1998, after limited commercial success with Book of Shadows, Wylde and drummer Phil Ondick recorded what became Black Label Society's debut album, Sonic Brew, with Wylde playing lead guitar, rhythm and bass. Nick Catanese previously toured as a rhythm guitarist for the Book of Shadows tour, and eventually joined Black Label Society before being replaced by Dario Lorina in 2013. John DeServio, who was a friend of Zakk's and worked as a temporary replacement in Pride and Glory, played bass for the first Black Label Society tour. DeServio became a permanent member of the band in 2005. Zakk Wylde has since released 11 studio albums, 3 live albums, and 6 compilation albums with Black Label Society. Black Label Society headlined the second stage at the 2006 Ozzfest, with Wylde playing double duty with Ozzy Osbourne on certain dates. He and the band also joined Osbourne for the Ozzy and Friends tour in replacement of the Black Sabbath tour scheduled for the summer of 2012, playing a range of European dates including Graspop Metal Meeting in Belgium. Since 2014, Wylde has led a Black Sabbath cover band called Zakk Sabbath, handling guitar and vocal duties, joined by Rob Blasco Nicholson on bass and Joey Castillo on drums, who replaced original drummer John Tempesta. The band tours intermittently and released a single 3-track vinyl only live in 2016. On July 2022, it was announced that Wylde had joined the reunited band Pantera to tour as a fill-in for original guitarist Dimebag Darrell, who died in 2004. The new lineup featuring Wylde, Phil Anselmo, Rex Brown, and Charlie Benante debuted on the first night of the Heaven and Hell Metal Fest in Toluca, Mexico on December 2022. Pantera then co-headlined Mexico's Monterrey Metal Fest with Judas Priest and also performed at Knotfest in Chile, Brazil, and Colombia. The band embarked on a full-scale tour of Europe in May and June 2023 and supported Metallica on selected North American dates of their 2023 to 2024 M72 World Tour.